Hi there, I'm Vincent and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing Dumpee dating guilt. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details, www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing Dumpee dating guilt. So if you have been dumped, then you will likely experience Dumpee dating guilt, where you feel guilty talking to or dating new people. It feels like you're cheating on your ex and can be very confusing. In today's podcast, I'm going to discuss 3 points to consider on the post-breakup experience of Dumpee dating guilt. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is it's perfectly normal to feel this way. So when you experience Dumpee dating guilt, you can feel that this is something that you're probably experiencing alone. It's something which feels bizarre, you understand, but it makes no sense. How can you feel guilty dating new people when you were dumped? How can you feel like you have been cheating on your ex when you've been dumped? You're single. There is nothing for you to be worrying about. So why do you feel this way? Well, it's perfectly normal. And many Dumpees will experience this. I would say the vast majority of Dumpees will feel that they shouldn't be speaking with or dating new people because they are being disloyal to their dumper. Even though they've been dumped, even though their dumper ended the relationship and the Dumpee is single, it is perfectly normal, it's perfectly common, and it is very understandable that you will be feeling this way. So you're probably thinking, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel guilty about dating somebody new when I'm single? When my former partner ended a relationship, they made it clear they don't want to be with me right now. Why do I feel guilty? Why do I feel like I'm cheating on somebody who has dumped me? Well, in essence, it is because you still love your ex. You have a very high level of romantic emotional attraction that you feel for your former partner. You are in love with your ex. The levels of attraction are very high. And unfortunately, something which also coincides with this is that there is nothing more attractive than rejection. So at the time of a breakup, the feelings that you felt for your dumper, they would have been enhanced post-breakup. Whatever you felt before, which understandably would have been high feelings, you didn't want the relationship to end, you loved your former partner, all of these feelings have now increased post-breakup because there is nothing more attractive than rejection. So you feel this incredibly high level of romantic emotional attraction for your former partner, and hence that is why it feels like that you are being disloyal, that you are cheating on your former partner if you speak with or if you date new people. So please remember, this isn't unusual. You are not strange. This is completely and perfectly normal. So don't beat yourself up over this. Some people really get overly stressed. They get a lot of anxiety over this. They don't think they're normal. You are normal. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly normal. And you will get through this. This isn't how you will feel forever. But you will have to go through this experience of feeling a bit of guilt. Feeling like you were doing something wrong when you aren't. Keep reminding yourself there is nothing wrong with what you're doing. But yes, it's completely understandable that you feel that there is something problematic with your feelings. But just get into your mindset that you're doing nothing wrong. You can only move forward from this if you truly convince yourself and understand that everything you are doing, talking with new people, dating with new people, this is the correct things to be doing. This will increase your chance of finding happiness again, because ironically, it will actually increase the possibility of your ex one day contacting you. So if you want to get your ex back, then this is the best thing to do. And if you don't want to get your ex back, then of course, it's the best thing to do. You know, it's win-win. You will either get your ex back or you will find somebody even better. And you can only do these things if you are making new connections, speaking with new people, and dating new people. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast of Dumpee, dating guilt. And point number 2 is dating doesn't have to be serious. So one of the ways that you can help yourself move forward through these feelings of guilt, through these feelings of thinking you're doing something wrong, is to realise that dating doesn't have to be serious. If you are thinking to yourself, I feel guilty, I shouldn't be speaking with new people, I shouldn't be dating new people, this will end any possibility of me one day getting my ex back. You have to understand that dating doesn't have to be serious. Just because your last connection was a serious long-term relationship, it doesn't mean your next connection has to be. People can date in a variety of ways, sometimes very platonic, sometimes in essence it's in reality a platonic friendship, which just feels a little bit more date-like than maybe connections you've had in the past. Sometimes it can be more so. Maybe you go on a few casual dates, maybe you have a fling, maybe you have a short-term relationship, but it doesn't have to be serious. And as long as you are respectful, as long as you explain to this new person your thought process and where you are right now in regards to what you want to achieve, what you want to find, what you are looking for, as long as you are clear with this and you aren't hurting anybody, then there's nothing wrong if you both decide that you want something which is a little bit more relaxed, more casual, and something which isn't long term. This can be something which really helps with Dumpee dating guilt, because you can get into your mind, look, it's okay, I'm not closing the door on my ex because this is just casual. As I said, this is something which can play on a Dumpee's mind, the fear that they're closing the door on their former partner. They think if they start dating again, they can never reconnect with their ex, because if they do this, then they will never be able to date their ex again if their former partner changes their mind. But look, if you're not in anything serious, then if your ex, if your dumper contacts you again and you want to reconnect, then you are open to. In fact, what I'm explaining right now is in essence being a stage 2 Dumpee. There are 3 stages of being a Dumpee. I've explained them in many of my other podcasts. If you want to understand more on this subject, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please ring the bell for notifications and check out all of the content I've done on this subject. But if we're looking right now, this is being a stage 2 Dumpee. It means you are starting to date again, but you won't get into anything serious because deep down you still love your ex. Deep down you are hoping and waiting to hear from them again. And if and when you do, you can easily move from this current connection to reconnect with your ex because this is just casual. And that is being a stage 2 Dumpee, open to dating, but still wanting your ex back. And therefore, you don't want to get into anything serious because if your ex contacts you, you want to easily be able to move back to connecting with your ex. So always remember, dating doesn't have to be serious. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast of Dumpee, dating guilt. And point number 3 is remember that you aren't doing anything wrong. So like I said in point number 1, you really need to understand that you aren't doing anything wrong. You are not somebody who is behaving in a way which is negative. You're not being disrespectful. You're not being somebody who is low value. If anything, you're increasing your value. You're showing yourself to be somebody who is a high value individual who respects themselves and is not willing to waste their life away, clock watching, sitting in the corner, waiting for something which might never happen. There is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back, and hence there's no guarantee that your ex will ever contact you again. You can't be sitting around, you can't be waiting, you can't be clock watching. You are not doing anything wrong in regarding upsetting your ex Dumpee. You're not doing anything wrong in regards to you being disloyal. You are not devaluing yourself as somebody in this way. Some Dumpees think to themselves with faulty thinking that if they date somebody new, if they talk to somebody new, then this presents themselves as the type of person who is disloyal, the type of person who others won't want to connect with because you can't trust them. But of course, this is faulty thinking. You don't have a stable mindset after a breakup. You are not thinking straight. You are single. You are a single person and you have every right to date whoever you want, okay? When you're single, you have no ties to your former partner. It doesn't matter if you was together 30 years. It doesn't matter if it's only a month after your breakup. If you want to talk to new people, if you want to date new people, this is perfectly fine and you are not doing anything wrong. You are not disloyal. You are not devaluing yourself. As I said, you are increasing your value. You're moving forward with positivity and that makes yourself a more attractive proposition. Additionally, if you mix with new people, you will be increasing social proofing value. If you want to try to get your ex back, then social proofing can be very, very useful. It is the concept that somebody will change their mindset based on what others are thinking. To make things clearer on this, let me try to explain. If your former partner ended the relationship, then of course they had a low level of romantic emotional attraction for you right then. If they hear of a situation where you are meeting new people, you're dating new people, if you are seen with new people, this would suggest that you're a higher value individual than maybe your ex gave you credit for. Because if this new person wants to date you, then therefore you must be valuable. If you are somebody who decides not to connect with new people, if you sit at home alone all the time, and that gets out that nobody's seen you in a long time, your ex finds out but you just don't do anything anymore, this doesn't make you look attractive. But if you date new people, then therefore you must be dateable. This will mean that your ex will start to think, okay, maybe I was wrong. Clearly, if new people are dating them, then there must be something in this. There must be something that I missed. Maybe they have more value than I gave them credit for. All of this will be subconscious, of course, but that is social proofing. So if you want to get your ex back, ironically, the best thing you can do is start to date new people. If you don't want your ex back, and as I said earlier, of course, you need to date new people. You can't be sitting around and wasting your life. You need to move forward with positivity. So always remember, you aren't doing anything wrong and you aren't being disloyal. This isn't a slant against your name. This isn't something which is going to make other people feel negative towards you. You are single and you should be living your life. If you believe this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, you know Vincent got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.